up, you guys? After Show Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more Stargate SG-1. This is Season 2, Episode 3. So let's go over last week's comments, because we're now watching this weekly. Whoop whoop! Okay, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. Maybe. We'll see. Whoop whoop! From your mouth to God's ears is saying you hope God hears what the other person is saying. Kind of like, I pray you are right. Okay. Blindy Ball, I love it. They are so named. I don't know what that was a reference to, sorry. To answer your question why some Jafar only have a black mark on their forehead instead of a golden one like Teal'c or Bratak, all Jafar have a black tattooed symbol on their forehead to present their gods. Only the first prime, the highest ranking Jafar, have a golden mark. That's why Teal'c and Bratak have a golden mark. They both were the first prime, but most of the Jafar just have a black tattoo. Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, that makes sense. But I mean, I was thinking it was just like they were being lazy in the costume department. But yeah, that makes sense. If you look at the scene where Apophis and Chlorel escape with the rings, dude, when they said Chlorel, it just like, I don't know, like it just reminds me of chlorine. Chlorel is obviously CG'd in. It's because Skara/Chlorel was supposed to die in the finale, but there was such a negative response from fans that they decided to bring him back. Really? Oh, okay. I see. Interesting. Alright, and then the next episode. Teal'c's symbiote is a baby and as such has to grow in his kangaroo pouch until it's strong enough to overpower a human mind. Right, okay. Why was Sam so sad? Jolinar had indicated being a host could be a rewarding and profound experience. If so, Sam may feel the loss of such an intimate relationship and perhaps even misses it. Huh, interesting. I never would have thought of that. Okay. Did you notice right after Teal'c got the Tok'ra's name, as he was leaving the room, he had to swipe his card to open the door? No. Well, if you paid attention, in my defense, this is my first time watching, you would have seen that the card was backwards and the black stripe was not inserted as it should have been to work. It's something I've seen Teal'c do at least 3 to 4 times. Not sure if maybe the first time he did it, it was an accidental, and then they decided to make it a sort of running joke. But I laugh every time I see him swipe the card like that with the stripe on the wrong side. No, I wouldn't have gotten that, but I mean, maybe I'll look for it now. I like Season 2 and beyond quite a bit. Season 1 has its charms and some very key stuff, but after Season 1 they expand on the foundation in some great ways. Looking forward to some more. I'm looking forward to it too. Also, confusion is fine. SG-1 is good at eventually explaining things. If not that episode, then in something later on. Fair enough. Yep, red Stargate on blue background looks horrible. Keep the gate blue. I've done that. Nope, it was Michael Shanks, Daniel Jackson, who was quite arrogant in the beginning, not Richard Dean Anderson, Jack O'Neill. You probably got confused over the Jacks again. Also, given the explanation in those comments, is completely made up and not canon at all. People like to pretend it's canon, but unless they can show that Richard Dean Anderson had stated this at some point, then it all comes down to the actor just pronouncing it his own way in the same way a lot of others do. Fair. First DVD players came out in 1997, so I'm guessing they were still quite expensive then. But people might have bought VHS tapes if those were a thing. I honestly don't know. VHS tapes were a thing. Yeah, it'd be awesome if I could erase Hathor from my memory. As I told you before, one of my least favorite episodes. You like your doo-doos better. Yeah, fair. I'm not gonna judge you. I like hearing you doo-doo just in case you forgot. This was about you humming the theme song. Yes. Normally, black symbols on a Jafar mean lower rank, but I don't know what the black marker symbols mean. Maybe he's a Jafar groupie and wanted to be part of the gang. He had a black marker put on a symbol on his head and then noped into a Goa'uld mothership and got more than he bargained for. Nakwara turns on infinite weight. Okay. Bra, pray. And tack, as in tic tac. Like bray, you mean? Bray tack. Okay. I'm still confused. His voice is very recognizable. You probably figured out having heard him on Once Upon a Time. Bray tack has a few Jafar loyal to him who, much like Teal'c and himself, believe the Goa'uld are false gods, hence why the guy in the background wasn't doing anything. Fair enough. He thinks the rainbow on the screen might just be a thing a visual effects department did to make the layout of the monitor look more sci-fi. Probably has something to do with visual spectrums and satellites pointed to the ship, but yeah, I think it's just for show. I can hear the house shaking. This is because last week there was a storm. There is not this time. God. If it were any louder, my headphones would fall off. I find the thought of us humans using a space shuttle to battle a Goa'uld mothership to be absolutely redonkulous and kind of funny. Sadly, you didn't. Maybe it's the storm keeping you occupied, though. I don't know. I think I was just very scared of the storm, I'm not gonna lie. From your mouth to God's ears is a phrase that originates from Arabic. The expression can be used to indicate true heartfelt agreement or can be used in a sarcastic way. In this case, it was Hammond telling Samuels that he hoped he was right about not having to send more people to the Alpha site. Right, okay. Yeah, the pouting face of Puffers just looks like a big baby. That little no-good wimp wanted to go to the Alpha site now that his little rockets didn't do shit against those ships. Nah, bitch, you stay and fight. You see Daniel own it. Let's go, Daniel. 2 seconds later, gets shot. Oh, fruits, you jinxed us. Dude, I was like so distracted in that moment, I swear, because of the fucking the storm was a lot last week, I'll tell you that. How are they going to get out of those death gliders into the space shuttle without, I don't know, dying? I mean, it's a good question. Yep, doing the theme never stops being adorkable. Yeah, the ominous music in the background is more for us, I suppose, and True Sam hasn't really said anything too out there to raise suspicion. Nah, Goa'uld is a parasite. It can burrow its way into you from anywhere and take control. That's scary. Yeah, the drugs work. Sorry, the drugs took some time before it had an effect on the Goa'uld, and Sam passed out. Or Sam. Teal'c, when you see her, don't see your friend. O'Neill, how do I do that? Me, easy, just keep your eyes closed. Boom, mic drop. I mean, fair, but do you think that he would probably run into, like, walls and shit? Yeah, if Joel and I hadn't laid it on so thick trying to pose as Carter to convince O'Neill he was telling the truth, maybe O'Neill wouldn't have believed him earlier. Probably. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't. O'Neill said he would never trust a Goa'uld. Teal'c is a Jafar, he carries a Goa'uld lover, but he is not himself a Goa'uld. A Goa'uld is a snake that takes over people and pretends to be a god. Also, Teal'c would not be offended by what O'Neill said. He despises the Goa'uld even more than anyone else at the SGC aside from maybe Daniel. Fair? Okay. Technically, there are 2 unconscious guards in the holding room. Those guys who entered could have thought that this Ashrak dude only just woke up and found Carter this way. But yeah, once again, security at the SGZ is kind of slacking. Yeah. I feel like they should have just immediately locked down. Yeah, if you know that there's a bad guy on the loose who can look like anyone and you happen to see a doctor posing as a military dude at the SGC, pretend everything is fine, Daniel. Yep, 1 shot from the Zat gun stuns a person, 2 shots kill people, 3 shots disintegrates. Right, that's kind of scary of a weapon, I'm not gonna lie. What if you accidentally have a trigger finger and you're like, oh shit, is it 1, 2, or 3? Whoops, my bad. Oh, I feel that would happen if it was in my hands. Don't give me one of those Zat guns. Anyways, let's get into the episode. Whoop whoop! Rawr, rawr. Don't worry. You couldn't hear it, but I was enough to hear.
Alright, kids. We're due back. Unless you can tell me you've discovered something earth-shattering, I'm ready to bag this one.
We practically just got here. We have no idea what this planet has to offer.
Trees and moss.
Well, a few miles from the Stargate, granted, but...
Captain? Any signs of radio traffic in the last 24 hours? Any chemical traces in the air to indicate civilization?
None, sir.
Hey, there could be something else here, you don't know.
We'll, flag
What
it
if there's
for
like some kind of healing
As much as I love a
tree?
good
I don't
rainforest,
know. Or a person that's running. Or falling on the ground.
They find me. Taldor.
Who?
Taldor. They find me now.
Daniel?
Taldor, I have no idea.
They find me. They find you.
Taldor is bad?
All around us now.
Alright. We're surrounded by Taldor. Fine. Just relax. Come with us.
I was terrified.
An eye out for Taldor, I guess.
Taldor.
What the hell is that?
It's for us.
What?
Are they getting abducted by aliens?
Everybody alright?
Are you gonna have to slow down?
You are prisoners.
And you are...
The lady
Justice.
red.
Taldor means justice. Just cable.
Please tell me someone gets the reference.
You trespass on ancient grounds.
Hey, look! We didn't mean to trespass. We're explorers. We just came through the Stargate from Earth.
It does not matter who you are or where you are from. You helped for sure.
What, who, this guy? Yeah?
Then you share in his crime.
What crime?
Murder.
Alright, look. We don't know anything about a murder. He was running from something. He stopped for help. We helped.
For the crimes of trespassing on the ancient grounds.
Anybody want to jump in here?
Of aiding a murderer.
We had no intention of interfering with your justice system.
Of carrying weapons upon ancient grounds.
We're trained to defend ourselves.
You will be sent through the Stargate.
Thank you.
To the prison Hadante. For the remainder of your lives.
Well,
This
I guess the rest of the show is them being in a prison.
Why are they whistling?
Only you.
What?
Was that the guy?
The wounds are cauterized.
Yeah, so?
So whoever it was must have been standing in front of the gate when it opened, disintegrated by the vortex.
Why would anyone do that?
It's okay. We're not gonna hurt you. Please, we just want to talk to you. It's all right. We just want to talk to you.
Captain Carter!
Hey, get your hands off of it!
Ishner!
You have been sent through the Great Circle.
Well, yes, but that was...
You have been sentenced to life imprisonment for your crimes. You would not be here. I am Linnea.
Well, I'm Daniel. This is Jack, Captain Carter, and Teal. If you're the one who stopped this attack, I suppose we're grateful.
This woman is under my protection. She is not to be taken by any man.
It's all right.
Is that clear, Vishnu? Is that clear? You were saying?
That I can take care of myself.
I mean you no disrespect. But I know what it is to be a woman in Hadante. For what little it is worth. Welcome.
Oh, excuse me.
Daniel? I think that's about it for the welcome wagon.
It's like we're in Botany Bay.
What?
Oh, the original name for Sydney Harbor. When the British first colonized Australia, they turned it into a continental prison. It was half a world away. Of course, this is probably more than that.
It's okay, Daddy. It's okay.
I didn't know that.
Perhaps the Taldor believe the Stargate only goes here.
Wherever here is.
Sooner or later, all new arrivals come here. You are not from any of the island states under the Taldor.
No, we're from Earth. Earth is... well, it's way out there.
Then you are from a place of which I have no knowledge. What would you ask of me?
We need power.
There are many forms of power, my dear. Some more subtle than others.
For the moment, we just need the
electricity.
electrical kind.
Then we both have something the other wants.
Tilka, I think he's had enough.
If you once again try to physically harm myself or any of my companions, my patience with you will expire.
Oh, Tilk, making friends, are you?
We found nothing of use.
Although I am fairly certain that this structure is the ruins of some sort of alien gate terminal, probably over 15,000 years old. Now, that almost certainly predates human
Is he
civilization.
wearing a choker?
Which is not of any use, per se.
We may have found what we need.
Linnea has a power source. Not just any power source either. This is incredible.
And she's just gonna hand it over?
If we take her back with us.
Well, can we just do that? I mean, we don't even know what she's in here for.
What are we in here for?
Jaywalking, I think.
Clearly, Linnea has done something to earn the respect of these prisoners.
Well, when she warned that man to stay away from Sam, I saw fear in his eyes. Not respect.
I'm just going to assume you've never been in prison before.
Oh, right, and you have.
Oh, yeah. Any place like this has its own set of rules. They don't have to make sense. Linnea's obviously done whatever she's needed to do to survive, just like we are.
But I mean, we
Which-
don't know what she's done, so.
Colonel, we're talking about powering one completely alien device with another. I mean, it's not like splicing together a few wires.
I'll take that as a maybe.
Without remote transmitters, we still have no access to Earth. The iris will be closed.
Okay. Daniel, you know more addresses than any of us. Start thinking of alternatives.
Incoming.
You eat last.
The hell? Oh, gross. Fuck.
Thank you, Vishnu.
I'll pass.
Sir, SG-1 broke the law on P3X775. We don't have to agree with their law, but we may have to respect it.
Sounds to me like they just made an honest mistake.
We tried to explain that, sir. On our world, unknowingly abetting a criminal doesn't merit this kind of punishment. However, the Taldor, they're the judicial body. They believe in zero tolerance almost religiously. No appeals process, essentially a single sentence, life imprisonment for nearly all offenses.
Doesn't sound like justice to me.
Perhaps not, sir, but the fact is they have virtually no crime. Just crimes of passion. Sometimes the occasional sociopath.
General, sir, SG-3 is prepared and willing to go in.
No, sir. With all due respect, force isn't the answer, sir. They're far more technologically advanced than we are. We couldn't possibly succeed in extracting SG-1, and we'd just be making an enemy.
They've already made an enemy.
No, I disagree. Sir, they're open to relations with us. In fact, next time I think several members of the Taldor are going to allow us to see their faces.
Sir, this is nuts. Let my team go back.
Major, as of 0800 tomorrow, your unit is scheduled for a standard recon of P2A 509. I expect you to be ready to carry out your mission.
Major Kovacic, return to P3X775. Let them know we mean business. Better yet, I'll tell them myself.
I treat it before ingesting. It is quite better than what you scraped from the bottom of the barrel.
Thank you. Actually, I came to ask you something.
My crime.
Yeah.
There was an experiment with tragic consequences. People died.
How many people?
Thousands. It began with a terrible plague among the people who sent you here. Time was short. I offered my knowledge. Instead of inhibiting the disease's progress, my medicine accelerated its effects.
And they blamed you.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. We didn't deserve this either.
I mean,
Do not think that I'm innocent.
not necessarily though. Like she
What you're
could
saying
be
is that you
spinning
take
it that way.
responsibility for your actions.
Yes. I have decided to accept your offer.
Great. I'll tell the Colonel.
You have altered the balance of power here. I have no choice.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
It is only a matter of time before Vishnu and his followers challenge your friends.
I'll warn them. Thank you.
Tell them also that if they fail, they will not live to try again.
We'd better hurry, sir. The Taldor believe punctuality is emblematic of civilized behavior.
They do they?
We'll be transported almost immediately upon our arrival to their Talal, or speaking area. Once there, the Taldor may or may not be willing to show you their actual face.
Why is that?
To put it politely, sir, they're xenophobic. To put it frankly, they're arrogant, narrow-minded, self-centered.
I get the picture.
But they do seem to want to maintain diplomatic contact.
I don't think I've ever seen him go through here.
Well, here goes.
Since this is your first time, sir, a quick word of advice. It's better to exhale just prior to crossing the event horizon. One's instinct is to inhale immediately upon arriving on the other side. Also,
I think I'll figure it out on the way. You're sure they dialed the correct address?
yes, sir.
Things I do for these people.
What's going on?
They think it's a way to escape.
What? Excuse me? Listen to me. Daniel! Look, this won't save you. Daniel, get out of there! You won't escape, you'll die. Out of my way!
You tried, Daniel.
How dare you interfere?
I was trying to save those men's lives. They're dead now.
Vishnu! Leave him.
He challenges me. I accept.
How can you let this happen? Rosher just threw his life away.
It was his life. The rules are the rules. Even I must obey them.
Uh-oh. Teal'c! Teal'c!
Linnea, you can stop this.
I told you this was going to happen.
Teal'c!
Teal! Still alive, just barely.
What is your name?
Simeon, I took food. I was hungry, starving. He sent me here.
Hold still. Hold still.
He's blind.
Yes, but not always so.
It was taken from me a little each day.
There will be pain.
Nope. Okay. Cure for blindness. Oh no, what the hell?
His eyes now see.
It's frightening.
He does not seem grateful.
Daniel?
What happened?
Well, you actually want to fight, Danny boy.
I don't particularly remember getting the upper hand.
Neither do I, but you must have.
P2A 509.
Little brain damage along the way?
No, SG-3 was scheduled to go on a mission to P2A 509. General Hammond said so in our last planning briefing. We rendezvous with SG-3 and we use their remote transmitters to get home.
Linnea? Do they send food? And I'll use that term loosely. Does it come through the gate on a regular basis?
Every day at the same time.
All right, that's our window.
What are they waiting for?
They believe you killed Vishnu.
You must distribute the food.
Whoa, hey. They're first.
I think I would just starve to death, to be honest. I'm very fussy.
Okay, well, I guess.
Okay, that's it.
Address?
That's what happens when you're not paying attention.
Where in the name of heaven did you come from?
Prison, actually. You just broke out.
And if I may ask,
This is Linnea.
We wouldn't have gotten out without her, sir.
then we owe you a great debt, ma'am. Welcome to the SGC.
I've never seen such a place. It seems so alien.
So it was for me. Over time, it has become home.
General Hammond, sir, with your permission, I'd like to offer Linnea quarters here at the base. There's a great deal she has to teach us. In fact, I brought back samples of her route that, with Linnea's activators, can generate...
I'll take that into consideration, Captain. In the meantime, I'd like you all to report to the infirmary, including your guests. Begging your pardon, ma'am. It's merely precautionary.
Oh, I would do the same.
Found him lurking near our base camp, sir. You need to hear
Alright,
this.
you're gonna give us an
General,
ominous
this is
warning.
the former blind man I was telling you about.
First thing I see, destroyer of worlds.
Excuse me?
She created a sickness, one you call Linnea. She, the destroyer.
She told Carter there was a plague. She offered to help.
Not help. She started it.
Are you restarting it now?
And this Stargate system spans thousands of worlds?
Theoretically, even more than that. We've charted several hundred already. So far, we've only visited a fraction of them.
I did say she
We've
could be
discovered
spinning it
that
her
most
way.
of the worlds in the network can sustain human life.
Where's the repository of this knowledge?
It's all in the computers. I'll show you.
I'm in your debt, Samantha. This shall not be forgotten.
Did that? See, that killed that guy, so I'm assuming that it would have. But, like, also it's Carter, so there's no way she's dead, right? So I don't know why. I don't know how it works. How is she dialing? I thought these guys could dial, and that's all.
Abort the countdown. Get a team to the gate room.
It's sealed, sir.
Unseal it. Colonel O'Neill, effect the manual override.
Where's Linnea?
When we came to, she was gone. Wormhole's been activated.
You were unconscious.
Only for a few minutes. The abort command is not responding, sir.
Self-destruct in 30
How is she
seconds.
overridden everything?
It won't take
Like, you would need to have access codes, right?
Close the arrows.
Self-destruct in 20 seconds.
Try shutting the whole system down.
We can't, sir. She got into the computer, she got the coordinates, everything.
How though? Like, I understand that you're showing her little bits and pieces and stuff, but like, there's no way you'd show her the fucking access codes and shit.
Codes have been erased. This doesn't make any sense.
3.
Redial those coordinates. Request permission to...
The entire system just crashed.
Well, get it back up.
Colonel? We let her out.
The destroyer of worlds.
And you guys are naive as hell. Just showing her fucking everything, giving her access to everything. Oh dear God. Alrighty, well that was Stargate SG-1 Season 2 Episode 3. I assumed that she was not a good person. That was kind of obvious, I feel. How did she have that much access? Like, I understand that you were like showing her little bits and pieces. They need to up the security or something. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoop whoop!